Hello, Booktube. How are you doing? I haven't posted in a while, like probably a couple weeks. I think was this 13th of December. I think the last video I posted was end of November. Yeah, I haven't really felt like making videos. It's been spending a lot of time with my wife when I'm home and the dog cuddling up. And we started rewatching Buffy. So we're halfway through season 3 right now, and that's actually been really fun and enjoyable. It's held up so much better than I actually thought it would. Yeah, so that's actually been incredible. Watching the other things on the Netflix and the Amazon. I can never remember which one's which, but we really enjoyed the show called The Pack, which is basically The Amazing Race with your dog. It's absolutely incredible. It does have a little bit of performative dog action that I am dubious about. I'm dubious about making dogs perform for humans. I'm not like a big fan of dog shows and that, but however, the love between the dogs and the dog owners is beautiful. The show, especially for an American production, is so nice. It's so supportive. It's so caring for the dogs too. Like, they do everything to make sure that the dogs are happy, and the dogs generally do look happy. As much as I can tell from seeing it through the actual lens of the TV production company, but it does look good. It was very enjoyable. And extra treat, Lindsay Vonn and her adorable dog Lucy are the hosts, and that's actually quite amazing. I'm a pretty big fan of Lindsay Vonn. I used to religiously watch skiing. She was just absolutely amazing skier, like probably one of the top 5 skiers in the world ever, of any discipline, men and women. She's incredible. What else have we been watching? There's probably other things, but the pack was definitely good fun. Oh, I think on Netflix they had one of those shows that kind of looks into like weird subcultures or kind of things you don't know much about. I can't remember what the show's called though. Sorry about that. But they had things like cheese rolling and yo-yoing championships. But the two that were most fantastic, and one I actually know a little bit about because I've watched documentaries on this before, which is the kind of extreme hairstyling, like hairdressing bars, like salon, but like next level championships. Incredible. Yeah, it's incredible. Like those, it's like it's part theater, part catwalk, part I don't know, part like just amazing hairdressing, sculpturing. They have all these like hard rules they're always trying to push to the bound, to push to the limits as well. It's incredible. And then the other one that I knew very little about actually was dog dancing. Again, it's a little, dogs performing for humans, which is something I'm a little iffy about, but it was pretty incredible, and generally the dogs do look like they're having kind of a lot of fun dancing. So, and dog dancing is basically it originated from, I think, a couple of legendary performances in traditional dog shows. So I think there's one discipline that is pretty much just heel work, which is where you get your dog to just kind of follow you on the one side of your heel. But the really tough one is the kind of, I think it's called freestyle, which is basically, it kind of goes against the whole obedience training of heel work, of where you keep the dog on the one side, you cross over, which is actually incredibly hard, and basically it's almost like synchronized dance. It's just your dog's kind of moving from different sides and doing little different tricks and stuff, and you've got to watch just for this one Russian woman who's just completely obsessed, who like kind of gave up her whole career and became this like amazing dog dancer and got these sponsorships and is just like your typical like just your typical kind of comedy parody film Russian over the top athlete. She seems very nice. She seems very nice, and but it is definitely just it does feel like a comedy trope sometimes, but it's amazing. It's amazing. I would definitely recommend watching those. We did watch the cheese rolling, I think, for a second. The yo-yo one was okay. I have a kind of little issues, I guess, with the cheese rolling, because I think especially the one that was featured in, I lived very close. I grew up very close to that. I think it's in Wiltshire. Yeah, I grew up in Wiltshire in southwest England, and I think it's either in Wiltshire or it's very close to, and it was always on the local news, and it was always people stupidly getting injured, and it just, I get that it's a fun tradition that people like, but it's also a little bit silly, and I know it's a very old tradition, but it does kind of feel like, a couple of drunk people just thought it up in a pub and tried to make it more important than it sounds. But, you know, it's the countryside as well, there's not much to do. No, I don't chase it, cheese down the hill. Anyway, I've been going out with a beard as well. Just been getting there. Watching a lot of Booktube. I think part of the reason I probably haven't made a ton of videos as well is the Vlogmas. Yeah, I watch a lot of Booktube, and sometimes the more I watch, the less I want to participate in the sense of, I just feel like people are making way better videos than I am, and people are making way more interesting content than I am, and so I don't really have much to say. Like this video, I don't really have much to say, but it has been good, but it has been a lot to watch with the Vlogmas, so it's also, you know, putting in a lot of hours having to watch it. I don't really have much time to also make it to. I have been reading a little bit though, a bit better than maybe I've been. I've mainly been reading this amazing old, I guess it's kind of a pseudo spy novel. It's The Mystery of the Mud Flats, which was originally published in, I think, 1913, somewhere around that time. It was originally published under the title of WO2, as in the chemical symbol of tungsten dioxide, or wolframite, a more common name for it, which kind of gives away one of the central mysteries. But a lot of old crime novels kind of do that. A lot of the central mystery elements weren't as important, I don't think, in this. It's more, a lot of these books are, it's kind of just, everything just leads up to the end, which I don't mind. I'm quite enjoying this. It's a seafaring. It's mainly set aboard a coaster. Goes from coast of the Channel, taking cargoes to and from Holland, Belgium, and to the various seaports of the UK. It's good. I'm still. There's been no. It's just all been kind of posturing. There's been no murders. There's been one attack, but there's been no murders. It's kind of more of the pseudo spy than or pre-spy than a like a murder mystery. It's reminiscent, actually, if you've maybe of a more famous book from the time. It's reminiscent of Erskine Childs' Riddle of the Sands. It's kind of similar to that, and especially as it does seem to be leading up to hinting at Germany starting to ramp up their kind of military power and military posturing of the German army, which it's a precursor to World War One. But yeah, it's actually, I've been really enjoying it. And I love these HarperCollins Detective Crime Club series, which was, I think it was a precursor to their Collins. So it was originally Collins Detective, the Detective Club. It's got the great kind of stamp style thing on there, and these are also the original covers. It's a reproduction of just the original series, but these were the precursor to that Collins Crime Club, which is legendary book crime series that's went on. I think, is it still going? But went on for, I think, at least half a century. Legendary crime series in the UK. These ones, I think, just kind of predated them, and they were so I think they started in the 20s or 30s. No, I think they started in the mid-20s maybe, and they reprinted old crime novels. Some of them dating back to late 1800s, some of them early 1900s. Let's see when this was originally published. Yeah, so this was the reprint of this was originally published in 1929. So this kind of style edition was 1929. And the original was 1913. It was originally published by Methuen and Co. As WO2, and then it was published as The Mystery of the Mud Flats by the Detective Story Club, which is part of the W.M. Collins. Basically, it looked like this in 1929, and then 2017 it was republished, and it's beautiful. That's the naked hardcover. Absolutely beautiful. Covers, just beautiful books. They really didn't cheap out on their reissues of these. I mean, Collins are very good at honouring their past for HarperCollins, which is not, you can't say that for every massive conglomerate publisher, but these are beautiful and very affordable. This is £10 in the UK, or just under $20 Canadian, which for a little hardback, beautiful. It stands out really well. It's actually like, I normally rip paperback. I normally rip the dust jackets, but these things hold up really well. Very sturdy. Amazing. I actually can't effuse enough about how good these books are, and I'm gonna have to get a lot more. I think most of my fiction buying next year will just be these books. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and it's kind of good to see this kind of the precursor to what will eventually evolve into great kind of spy novels, or it's definitely along more the Eric Ambler kind of spy novels. And I think Eric Ambler's he's not far off from this time period, maybe another 5 to 10 years out. And a lot of Eric Ambler's books concern just regular people getting involved in kind of the shadowiness of international politics. And so it's definitely kind of looks like it's going down that route. And yeah, it's not an author I'd ever heard of, so it's been really good to discover these. And I really haven't read very much, even Golden Age British crime actually. I've kind of read a little bit more of like the 1950s British crime, but most of my reading has been predominantly Black Mask era American crime novel and paperback originals, 1950s to 60s paperback original crime novels from America. And so yeah, it's been it's been quite nice actually. It's I think now that I'm removed from the UK, it's a little bit easier to palate a lot of it, and it does kind of have a little almost sentimentality about it. But yeah, I've been enjoying that anyway. And so the thing that I realised was I did non-fiction November, and I think the thing that I've realised about a lot of my reading, actually why I read so much of this style book, is I work like over 50 hours a week. I work 6 days a week. I'm generally pretty zonked, and my reading time is quite limited. And as much as I love non-fiction, and a lot of the non-fiction I read, it's very, very immersive. I've actually found it is hard to read when I'm tired. But I can read this kind of stuff when I'm tired, like, so easily. Not to say this is worse or better or than my non-fiction. Not to say that my non-fiction is difficult to read. It's really not. It's just that. It's just, I know, I think partly that I'm so familiar with this kind of style of, like, I'm just so familiar with crime writing that I don't have to necessarily pay as much attention to get all the information in. It's also, there is just a lot less information, you know. Fiction has a lot of descriptive words, more descriptive words, and just, I don't know, it just kind of builds things up. Whereas I find non-fiction is generally just more like, this is something I'm trying to explain to you, in sometimes quite deep meaning. And so, yeah, I find I definitely have to read non-fiction. I think when I have like a couple of hours to just really get immersed into it. And so, I will read a lot more non-fiction, I hope, next year. Probably I'll do it all on my day off. I'll read crime fiction and other fiction during the week. But yeah, I kind of probably knew this deep down, but really highlighted in non-fiction November. But I did start a few books that I hope to continue and talk to you all about them. I guess I've had a lot more subscribers, which is so happy. Thank you to everyone who watches this channel, new, old, passers-by, anyone. It's been really nice. I'm still kind of trying to figure out what I'm doing on here, what I want to do on here. All I know is this is purely for me in some sense. Like I'm not trying to do this for any kind of trial of any career, or trying to get this into any part of my professional life. This is purely just me talking to people, to friends, about what I'm doing, what I'm reading, and sometimes it won't even be bookish. It will probably mainly be bookish, but you know, the odd times might have other things to say. But I'm not really sure myself if like I want to just continue doing lots of tags and the occasional chatty video, or if I want to try and kind of celebrate crime fiction more, or deep dives into Canadian and Canadiana. I mean, I feel like it's just going to be probably a mishmash of all that. But yeah, I'm still kind of figuring it out and trying to get into a bit of a routine, maybe. That might make it a bit easier just to try and at least try and regularly post a couple days a week. But it's been fun so far. I've been really enjoying it, and it's definitely in these times, not just like the pandemic times, but times where I'm working 6 days a week. I go to work, I come home, I see my wife, who's, you know, I love my wife, I love my dog. I pick the best people to spend all of my non-working time with. But sometimes it is nice to have interactions with other people, even on small occasions. I'm not the most social of people, but I do like talking about certain things, books, films, music. And so it is nice to have other outlets sometimes. But yeah, I don't know, I'm just kind of waffling on, I guess. But I thought there's one more thing. I'll probably do some tag videos. There's so many good tags going around right now, and even more just ones from my pre-video days that I want to get to as well. I will probably do a bookshelf tour at some point, because Noah at Everyone Must Converse specifically requested it. So I've been thinking about doing one anyway. I started trying to do my non-fiction one and then kind of just gave up, mainly because I kind of started reorganizing my books. I was like, oh, so yeah, I was kind of halfway through it, but now it's like not really in the same order. But I think I might start either my crime, spy, thriller bookshelf, or just kind of more my general reading bookshelf. Yeah, it might be a little bit more interesting. I haven't read a lot of the books. I can still talk about them, but I can't talk about how good they are or how much I enjoyed them. There's a few I have read though, so the way I've organized them, it will start off with books I've read and go on from there. What else? I'm not sure. Sure, there was other things to say, but I think I'll leave it at there. So yeah, I'll try and film the Q&A either today or next week. So last chance to get any questions in. You can just leave them down below here if you want. I'm not too bothered. This video or the other video that's asking for them. And also, what was the other thing I could say? Oh, I can't remember now. Yeah, so basically I'll try and get the Q&A done. And maybe some channel recommendations. Maybe during the Q&A, the channel recommendations will come up. But anyway, I hope you all have a great weekend, and see you all soon.